Hello, I'm Elena Bissonette, and this is my audience. Have you ever wondered how a computer can do so many amazing functions? For example, only 8% of the entire world's currency is tangible. The rest only exists on computers. It is amazing how much computers can affect the way we live. From wealth to healthcare. We would not be as successful today if it wasn't for computers. It is nice to know a little bit about computers, since it's so common today that we have computers. So, in this speech, I will attempt to explain a little bit about the computers, since it'd be helpful in everyday life. Alright, so, the very first piece of hardware I will be talking about is the power supply. The power supply, when you plug in your computer into an outlet, the power supply takes electricity and converts it into an electricity form for the PC to use. Next is the big bad motherboard. The motherboard, that gets power from the power supply, and every single thing is hooked up on here. So all these inputs allow for all the components to hook up to it. So let me rephrase that. I apologize for this, but alright. So all these slots are for the components of the computer. All the components of the computer are hooked up on the hard drive, the motherboard. So you plug everything into the motherboard, and this allows for all the components in the computer to share a power source and information. Alright. The CPU, also referred to the brains of the computer, is the largest contributor to the speed of the computer. Now, since this runs pretty fast, it's run at gigahertz, or billions of cycles per second. So, the most common type of processor out there is called the Intel i7. The Intel i7 runs at a blazing speed of 4 billion cycles per second. Isn't that amazing? Alright, so now there's this thing. You might be wondering, what the heck is this thing? It's called the heatsink. The heatsink prevents it from overheating, because since it runs so fast, it gets really, really hot. So, since this keeps it nice and cool. It has a nice little fan on it, keeps it nice and cool. Alright, so the next thing I'll be talking about is the RAM, or random access memory. Random access memory allows the computer to search for things. The more RAM that you have in your computer, the faster it will run. Alright, so the next thing I'll be working on is the hard drive. The hard drive is where all your data is stored, including your data, or the operating system. And now the hard drive can hold so much information. It can range from 1 byte, 1 bit of information, all the way up to 1 terabyte of information. That is 1 trillion bytes of information. See, it does contain a lot of information. Now, next on the list is the expansion cards. The expansion cards allow you to have visual displays, sound cards. It just allows you to do what you can do on there. So, since this helps you see what you can see, then the motherboard is going to get confused, because it's like, what am I going to do with all this stuff? It's like, so now here comes the operating system, or the software comes in. So, system software, that is the operating system. The operating system, commonly referred to as Macintosh or Microsoft. So, with that, the operating system helps instruct the motherboard what to do. Now, since everything is working now, the operating system tells it what to do. Now you put your applications on there. The computer is a wonderful, complex machine. Over the last 20 years, it has helped technology progress even faster than it has before. The hardware of the computer made it possible for the computer to even run. And last, without software, we would not be able to browse the internet or be able to simply use the computer without going to BIOS settings. Thank you so much for listening.